since we're talking about basically Vidhu Vinod Chopra's that Hollywood film, I remember in Rangila, there was this character was sort of a parody of both Shekhar Kapoor and Vidhu Vinod Chopra about hum Hollywood ke liye film banayenge. I was just struck by the fact that when you do this, why would you take your own film, which is 1994, then set it in America in 2000, which is also 15 years ago.
Of course, you're talking about Parinda.
I'm talking about Parinda, and then set it in Mexico. So there are two things I loved about Parinda, and I'm sure that would be true for most people who are fans of the film. And I became a fan, of course, of Vidhu Vinod Chopra from Khamosh, and then watched Parinda. And the one is the brotherly love, right? And it's so beautifully done, especially that chemistry that Jackie Shroff had with Anil Kapoor. And the second is the setting itself, and how well the New Bombay of that period, and how beautifully it was shot, capturing, the city in its perfect landscape, in its grittiness, because it was not so common back then. Now you take the landscape out, because Mexico is not being dealt with in the sense of drug cartel and that area in what it's known for. I mean, I can watch Traffic for it, right?
Yes.
And then you also take brotherly love outside the whole scheme of things, because here the brother, the elder one, is actually slightly slow, mentally slow, and therefore it's more like exploitation that he's been through, rather than him being a practical person on one end and then being a great brother and the other. So I felt kind of confused with what the point of making this film was.
Well, for me, Parinda, again, one of my all-time favorites, is the quintessential mad performance, absolute powerhouse by Nana Patekar. And do we have any of that flashes of mad genius?
Well, the villain is there, and yes, he's scared of fire. So it is the same story in every sense. But and then to be fair, there's some really cracker scenes in the movie, which if you were to see it outside the context of the movie, would be. And of course, we've seen some of them in the promos as well. I just love that shot where the horse leaves the hut. I mean, in the ranch from inside, from indoors. Yes. And it's a cracker sequence. There are a couple of others too. But frankly speaking, for somebody who's already loved that film, which is Parinda, and is watching a remake, I wasn't satisfied with as a viewer very much. But then again, I guess it's a Hollywood movie. It's meant for American audiences who have not seen the original movie, and for all they might just like it. I wish them best.